So the new algorithm is going to kill so many agencies that if you don't watch out for this, you could be next. My name is Hamza. I grew my own agency to multi-millions. I spent over $20 million on ads. I've helped dozens of agencies grow and scale, and I've never seen anything like this, okay? Facebook is literally rolling out a bunch of changes to its algorithm that are causing a bunch of advertisers, even a few OG advertisers, to have to really change the way that they're approaching Facebook ads in 2025. And in this video, I'm gonna explain exactly how you too can go with the new changes and make sure that your agency is fail-proof and safe from all the new changes so that you can continue to get new leads, get new appointments, and close more deals without any hiccups. So let's freaking go. All right, so first thing is that Facebook is just getting broader, meaning that they don't even want you to mess with any settings around age and gender and the interests or the audiences or any of that stuff. They want to make it stupid simple by using their own internal AIs to help advertisers advertise, to help advertisers get in front of their ideal clients. Because of course, Facebook wants to make it easier for businesses to spend money on their platform. And so inherently, you no longer have an edge with media buying tactics that you can go to your clients with and say, hey, we're a marketing agency that does this much spend on Facebook and we know how to do the settings and we know how to do lookalike audiences and all this stuff. No, they could potentially just go to Facebook themselves, put in their creative, and cut you out as the middleman. In fact, Mark Zuckerberg has gone on record to say that he does want to actually take over the whole advertising process end to end and rule out marketing agencies as a whole. Now, whether or not he'll be able to do that is a different story, because I do believe the best of the best will thrive, and the new normal is going to be your creative. Okay, it's going to be exactly what you're putting out in terms of the image of the video you use, the copy you're using, the headlines you're using. That's going to be the most important thing in 2025. And here's what Facebook is penalizing more than ever is when you just go to the ad library, copy, paste your competitor's offer, his creative, and make it so similar to them that Facebook will just know immediately that this guy is a copycat and they'll ding you, meaning higher CPMs, higher cost per lead, less calls, less sales, higher cost per acquisition. And so gone are the days of just being able to funnel hack your competitors and say, oh, I guess this thing works, and then spin it up to be a little bit different and then run it and then expect it to print money. What we need to do is stand out. Imagine you're walking down the street and you saw a purple cow crossing the road. You would put your brakes on, you would stop the car, and you would be freaking watching that thing cross the street, and you'd have all these questions like how, what, where, why? And that's the key to all this. Almost like in the music or the fashion industry. When it sounds the same or looks the same, it is the same. And we have this thing called mental opt-out that happens. And so in 2025, if we want our ads to succeed, what we need to do better than everyone else is create novelty, create intrigue, create a wow factor. And so one of the easiest ways to create that wow factor without even necessarily changing too much of your message is seeing which way the pendulum is swinging. You see, in fashion, for example, you used to have bell-bottom jeans, and then it became skinny jeans. And now guess what? Bell-bottoms are back in style. And so what you want to do is you want to see which way the pendulum is swinging and then go the opposite way. You see, if everyone is creating these highly produced, well-edited B-roll music, explainer style video ads that are just so crisp, and you got the podcast microphone and all this jazz, you probably want to go the opposite direction, which is just a more raw, to the point, unscripted, unrehearsed looking style of creative that will stand out in a sea of noise. And when you're able to get more watch time and higher click-through rates on your ads, you're then able to exploit Facebook's reward system, because keep in mind, you keep someone on the platform longer, Facebook is going to reward you. So if you have creatives that ultimately get attention, keep attention, and convert attention, that's a positive signal to Facebook's algorithm that you have something that is unique and different and novel that they want to show to more people, and then they'll reward you with lower CPMs, lower cost per lead, lower cost per book call, and then obviously a lower cost per acquisition if you're good at sales. So simply put, when everyone is zigging, you zag. And so now we could be sitting over here and think to ourselves, yeah, well, that sounds like a lot of effort and I don't really want to do that, or whatever objection may be stirring up over there. I get it, right? Because I also, back when I started my first agency, was able to just funnel hack people, and it did all right for a while, but eventually I had to go and say to myself, okay, what makes me different? And if you aren't asking yourself right now what makes me different, and worse yet, if I ask you that question and in your mind you actually think I'm no different than anyone else, then you're already 5 steps behind. It's so important for us to find what about our process, what about our product makes us different. And in many ways, it could even just be your story. You see, for me, as an agency owner, coming on these videos and my ads and saying to you, hey, I grew my own agency to multi-seven figures. I grew multiple other agencies to multi-seven figures. I've spent over $20 million in ads. I saw all the gurus and coaches basically rip off a bunch of my peers in the process of me scaling my agency. I was one of those students that basically got sold a dream, but then got given cookie cutter tactics and strategies. You see how my story comes together to maybe have you see yourself in me. And I say, hey, look. And so what I did is I went and studied the greats, the great advertisers myself. And I went and I did the effort to figure out what does work and what doesn't work, putting my own money on the line. And then I realized, wow, there's a few steps, 3 to be specific, that actually create great ads consistently that can run not just for days, but for weeks and months. And so when I share this story, that inherently separates me from maybe some other agency content that you may be watching, or the fact that I'm a dad and that I've got kids, or maybe that I, travel a lot, right? There's these little things that can differentiate us. And it's very important for us as agency owners to take a bit of an introspective look and say to ourselves, okay, well, what is it really that separates me from everyone? What is it really that makes me unique? And what is it that I can say is my vehicle that helps my clients produce the transformation I'm promising them? What is it that I do that uniquely gets people results that I know they haven't been able to get elsewhere? When we can articulate that, when we can say that, and then package that, so important, package that as that purple cow. And guys, this is not just about having some sort of a flashy hook where, I pull out a guitar and I'm like, hey, agency owners, do you want to da-da-da-da? Like that's just freaking clickbait, dude. This is not about clickbait. This is about us having an idea as a whole, right? And there's a bunch of trainings on this channel and in my school community that go over this. But in a nutshell, this is about us coming from start to finish up with a idea that is novel and different, where we actually articulate to the end audience in an instant that, hey, I get you, I understand your situation. I was recently watching this ad by a good friend of mine who helps agencies with their call centers. He basically created this ad where he was parodying the conversation that a lot of agency owners have with their clients about, oh, you got leads, but you didn't close any of them? Or did you call them within 5 minutes like I told you? Or, okay, well, how much did you quote them? Or did you try to downsell them? And it's like all these client result issues. And I was like, dang, I can relate to that because that's me. That's me. I've had issues with client results and them essentially blaming me for their crappy, for example, sales skills, or their crappy follow-up, or their, crappy receptionist, for example. So I think it's about creating that relatability in our ads and us being able to make a creative that really, again, vocalizes to that person that I get you, but not only that, I'm different to everyone else. Let me show you why I'm different. Let me keep your attention for long enough to show you that what I have in store is something is new. It's something that gives you actual hope that you'll get a new result, aside from everything else you've tried out there. So the more we can do that in our ads and very basically take what we have to offer and what we want to sell and connect it to some desire that they have, the better it'll be and the more we'll be able to actually convert them at the end of the day. So I hope that made sense and I hope that was helpful. Keep coming back to these videos. I'll see you on the next one.